Okay, so we brought the doorway down to a very low level, beyond even 20, a opening that's even lower than a value of 25. And let's just say that our spread of these data points at the level of 30 was pretty much what we were seeing before. And we actually, made a few more measurements. And we have that same pattern of some variability. Maybe a little bit more variability than the variability that we were seeing up in the 40s and 50s and 90s. But as we get into quantum mechanical value levels, the effect or the shape of that quantum mechanical related power distribution is exceptionally and extremely sensitive to the configuration, so that just the tiniest little bit of some variability of anything has tremendous effects on the power output. And the effect that you get from that is, even though you're trying as hard as you can possibly try to have a reproduction of the opening, and in your system you altered it with a micrometer and you got it exactly where you thought it was at 20, but then you go ahead and get that value of a power output, and when you measure the power output for that one, instead of coming up to this value of 1, which is what you got before, you get this value of 2.2. And when you do it again, you get a value of 2.5. And when you do it again, you get a value of 1.1. And if you take the doorway down to an opening of 10, you find that the amount of variability of your output gets even worse, where you have frequently values of 0. And even though you have an opening of the doorway of 10, you have a value of 0. And then you may get one where you have an opening of 10 and you get a value of 12. And then you do another one with an opening percentage of 10, and once again you get a value of right on the button of 0. And what you do when you look down here at this place where you've moved to door opening values, where the door opening is near to almost closed, the spread of your data points begins to be much wider. So if you were going to attempt to draw in what we would call the standard deviation of your curve, the standard deviation of your curve is not bad. when you're in the zone of doorway openings that are widely open, but the value of the standard deviation of your curve, and of course the standard deviation is the value between this line and this line, begins to spread out, so that your ability to have a confidence about what is the, if you were just going to measure the power output that you're receiving here and say, I'm going to measure this power that I'm receiving and I'm going to make a statement about where is the piston, because this standard deviation of these points in this upper doorway opening zone is pretty tight, you can begin to make a prediction. But when you get down into the area of small size doorway openings, the standard deviation begins to get big enough that you can't have confidence about exactly where is the doorway with respect to how much doorway opening do you have based on your power measurement. And all we're saying is, when you get into doorway openings small enough, you lose the ability of your power measurement system to give you a good, reproducible, and accurate result where you can have some confidence about where the doorway opening really is based on the power that you got.